Good morning, children. Today in Social Science History in class 9, so the chapter Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution, we will take up the topic socialism today. Now, the question arises that why did why did they want to establish a socialist system? Because of the evils of capitalism. If we see that among the industries, the capitalists were the ones who had become extremely wealthy, and they had earned all these profits and accumulated wealth because of the hard work performed by the workers. But the profits were only and entirely belonged to the capitalist. While the condition of the workers remained bad, it remained poor in the sense that they had extremely long working hours. Their working conditions were very poor in factories and industries. Wages given to them were extremely low. Then they also had problems of housing and sanitation. And there was a division in society. This is the division in the sense of have and the have-nots. That means that the workers remained poor only, whereas the capitalist became wealthy. And there was no attention given to the workers or to bring about improvement in the condition of the workers. The sole objective of the capitalist was to earn profit and to increase his profit. So against that system, against the evils of capitalism, the system of socialism emerged. Now, socialist ideas spread in Europe, and they suggested that property should be controlled collectively. In other words, that they were against private ownership. That meant, because that is what happened in the system of capitalism. So they wanted that there should be no private ownership of property and everything should be collectively controlled. So now regarding the socialist society, what they wish to have is, there were different people with ideas, they can say, their own perspective regarding the future. But one thing was for sure, that they wanted to bring an end to the system of capitalism and establish socialism. Now, one of the people of the times, and who was an Englishman, an English manufacturer, Robert Owen. He wanted to build a cooperative community called New Harmony in Indiana, USA. So that was his perspective about the change. Then we had another French socialist by the name of Louie Blanc. Now he wanted a government to encourage cooperatives, formation of cooperatives, and replace it with the capitalist enterprises. That means that there should not be any capitalism, that there should be no capitalists at all. Rather, there should be cooperatives. Now, what were these cooperatives? Cooperatives were, you can say, associations formed of people who were engaged in the production of goods, and they felt that they should divide the profits according to the work performed by the workers. So they felt that the workers were denied, and so they felt that there should be a group of people, association of people engaged in the production of goods, and accordingly they would divide the work, whatever work that had been done by those people. Then we had another very strong advocate of socialist ideas, and that was Karl Marx from 1818 to 1883. Now he argued that the industrial society was basically capitalistic. That is what we just talked about, that capitalist, where the owners of the factories and industries were the capitalists. They invested in those factories. The profits they earned were entirely theirs only, and the workers had no share in that profit except for the wages that were given to them. And the overall condition of those people was not very good at all. So, and nothing was done to improve the condition also. And so what he felt was that that capitalists owned the factories and industries, profits were earned by them, and all this was done due to the hard work and effort of the workers only. The profits would not have been there if the workers had not made a sincere effort to do that. Whereas the condition of the workers remained bad and miserable, in the sense that they had long working hours, they had poor working conditions, and their wages were low, housing and sanitation problems were there, division in society. So this is what Karl Marx opposed. And he also felt further on that this system of capitalism has to come to an end. But how could the system come to an end until the system of the capitalist stopped accumulating these profits? So that was another thing. So the improvement in the condition of the people would only be possible when the system of capitalism came to an end. And in place of that, or it should be replaced by a socialist society. A socialist society means where there would be no private ownership, all property would be socially controlled. Or in other words, one can say that the production unit would be nationalized. So all the evils that had emerged due to capitalism would all come to an end if they had such a society. And so he wished to establish a communist society, and he was so confident about the victory of the workers that they will certainly be able to bring an end to the system of socialism and the system of capitalism, that would change the conditions altogether. Now, another person by the name of Frederick Engels from 1820 to 1895, he was also very strongly opposed capitalism and supported the ideas of Karl Marx, and he also wished and he desired that the workers should overthrow capitalism and the rule of private property. If this system finished, the condition of the people will automatically become better. It will improve. So we see, in order to support socialism, there were many other international bodies, also organizations that came to be formed in different countries, because everywhere the workers were rebelling against the system prevailing over there. And the formation of this international body, which was called as the Second International. And why this was established? For coordinating the efforts and the ideas of socialists that they had come to have in their minds now and in the perspective, and so their efforts could be coordinated, so they could bring about major changes everywhere. In England and Germany, we take the example that the workers formed associations, and in order to make these associations stronger, they also set up funds where they provided finances to the people who were members and who were in distress, so that they could continue to oppose the capitalist system. Then there were other demands also that they offered. What were these demands? Like, they wanted reduction in the working hours, that sometimes they were from 15 to 18 hours they were working. So they wanted that this should be reduced. And besides that, also that they should be given the right to vote, which they were not allowed until now. Then in Germany, if we see that in Germany, associations worked, these associations of these socialist people, they worked with Socialist Democratic Party and helped to win parliamentary seats, so that maybe on a national level things could become better for these workers. By 1905, if we see, socialist and trade union members formed Labour Party in Britain. So this party was known as Labour Party. They formed these people who had these socialist ideas, or socialists, and members of the trade union. They formed the Labour Party in Britain, that it came to be called as, and in France it came to be known as the Socialist Party. So we see that these were the changes that were taking place in different parts of the world, and these changes till 1914, socialists were unable to form governments in Europe. Legislation was influenced to a certain extent, but it was the governments continued only to be run by the groups of people who were conservatives, liberals and radicals. So we see that till this period, till this time, the system of socialism had not really come to be established here, but at the same time there were changes that they were hoping for, that the future would be better. Thank you.